Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's about 20 to 4 here on Tuesday, the 16th of March, and that means it's about 11:40 in the US. Only 4 hours difference between ourselves and American Eastern Time. I'm sure you've discovered. As you can see, short-term trend in VectorVest is up. Underlying trend is up. The confirmed call still down, and the foot off the petrol a little bit in that the short-term trend has lost momentum. Declines slightly higher than the advances. Nevertheless, market still looking strong, and I've taken a few positions, and hopefully they're going okay. If we have a look now at those, well, I've got apps. I bought into WSM, MKSI. We'll just have a look at them here. Shift, and those are all bought in during the course of yesterday. I mentioned them at the VectorVest Q&A. That's apps. I've been in this since last week. And it needs to break out of this inside day. If it can break above that inside day, that'll be really good. That's one of the ones I got into yesterday. Did very well. Still it's up, but just bought into it. I'll keep my stop losses onto this little double bottom here. As you can see, it is. I should have been into it across here on one of these lows, but wasn't. Got in here. As you can see, the 21's above the 55, and it's broken. Let's see what can happen. That's MKSI. Bought into that yesterday as well, and it's had a really good move up this morning. Again, there's one of my famous spring setups. I didn't get in down there, just got in as it broke this trend line when the DEW, the medium-term market timing indicator on VectorVest, is up. I would expect a run towards that old high. I'll get my stop to entry well before that, and my stop, folks, would be under these little double bottoms down here somewhere. And quite honestly, I'll be getting my stop to entry in that very quickly indeed. Very quickly indeed. This is Dynatrace, also moved up quite nicely today out of this little thing. As you can see, this little double bottom, that's my spring setup. Microsoft is going well. I've been into that now for 3 or 4 days. I mentioned that last Friday, so that's going very nicely indeed. Futu pulled back in 3 waves. As you can see, there's resistance here which became support, and it's doing nothing. We shall see what happens. Stop losses down under these lows, relatively tight. Yeti, exactly the same setup, folks. Came down, took out that low and reversed. We shall see. And IAC, 3 pullback in 3 waves, needs to break this inside day. My entry there probably a little bit too soon. Should have waited for it to break those highs. And that's the SPX itself. My word, it had a great day yesterday after the in the second half of the day. It came back, and if those of you that are interested on a 30-minute chart, it charted a beautiful Wyckoff spring on the 30-minute chart. There was 50 points in it as well. And this is my punt, and PLTR hasn't really done that much, but when I see a market coming down, taking out these lows and reverses, I'm always interested. So it's hanging in there. So reasonably happy with those. We shall see. Just remember, folks, these are swing trades, and on swing trades, when I've made as much as I've risked, I'll get my stop to entry, consider taking a little bit maybe, and then letting the second half run, and managing stop losses very tightly indeed in this environment. In the UK, well, the positions that I've got in the UK are much more conservative, much more long-term positions, and many of them I've been holding for quite a long time. Everything in the UK is up, and the colour guard, in fact, nicely in green. I haven't looked at the FTSE in an hour or two, but the last time I looked, it was up. And if I look at the stocks that I'm holding, that's a watch list. If I look at the stocks that I'm holding, which was this one, then Sylvania has had a good run. It came off support. Italia Mining moved up very strongly yesterday. I noted it come back a little bit today, so reasonably happy with these. Games Workshop looks as if it's finally got off a bottom and is pushing up, and this is a beautiful spring setup here, and if we look we can see that this beautiful reversal candle looks to me as if this wants to advance strongly again. I've added to the share once here, and if it breaks up strongly here I shall consider adding to it again. The other one that's gone exceptionally well is this GYS.L, and it had another very strong day yesterday, breaking up. If you want to work out the target, you take that minus that, add it to the breakout. Still got a way to go. The VectorVest valuation is right up at 21.95. Many of the shares that I've got have been sitting doing absolutely nothing for me, and they look as if they can break quite easily now. And I'm talking about Lion Trust, I'm talking about JD Sports, I'm talking about Cranswick, that have done absolutely nothing, and Halma, that have done nothing over the last week or two. I'm hoping those can move quite strongly if the general market keeps going. So it's a very conservative portfolio, a little frustrated in that although many of the shares that I've got are well up, they've done nothing over the last 2 or 3 months. Certainly Sylvania and Italia Mining have added a great deal of spice to that, and GYS.L. Bellway as well. All the building stocks look particularly good, folks, and there's Bellway has pushed up strongly. Again, a spring, I know you're fed up listening to it, a spring setup just here. That was the cladding problem at that all the building companies got a hit from the tragedy at the Grenfell Tower, and now this is taken that up very strongly, so a very strong impulsive move on the upside, and as you can see, broken out of a multiple inside day yesterday. So that bodes quite well. Gold, and I've got the gold chart. This is a 4-hour chart of gold, folks, and as you can see, there's the sell-off, and it's done its best to make a rising bottom here, which is very good, but as you can see, the neckline for this is this 1740 level, and market finding very strong resistance at that 1740 level today and got knocked there. If I should see this market breaking through that 1740 level, then I should consider adding or maybe getting another gold holding. Gold looking very strong. If we look at Polymetal, which is my single holding, which I'm glad to report has come off a sell recommendation. That's the VectorVest valuation. We take the value off for a second, we can see that this has come sideways in 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, a textbook flag pattern, and for those of you that are fib analysts, from that low to that high, we can see that the market stopped bang on to the tick to a 62% retracement. If I saw the gold market break and close above that 1740 level, then I think that this outstanding company, I'm sure many of you will have seen the results that came out last week. This outstanding company, I think, should be added to. There are many others. I should be looking at Pan African Resources again. I should be looking at HOC. Those of you that are not traders, those of you that cannot manage risk and have a proven track record on managing risk, should probably leave gold stocks alone. Okay, they've got a temper on them. But nevertheless, at the moment there is a low risk, and by risk I mean low capital exposure and high reward trade in gold and in precious metals. Okay, and maybe towards the end of the week I'll have a look at silver as well. But I haven't added to Polymetal, and the position I've got is underwater. But if I see that 1740 level go, then I'll be tempted to add to it. So I hope you found that useful. The American market is still flat with the advance declines higher than the advances. The S&P up. Where is the S&P? The S&P up 3 points on the day, so absolutely nothing. Probably it's going to take a day or two to get a little bit higher. Remember, we've got an FOMC meeting tomorrow, and I would expect a bit of to and froing between now and tomorrow. It could easily take the energy from the FOMC meeting to get it through. This is a huge level, folks. This is 4,000. That is a huge level. So it's going to take quite a bit of energy to get it through that level. Let's see. As I say, I'm managing my stop losses very, very tightly in those. And I had a fairly aggressive day yesterday in terms of purchasing. Okay. Hope you found this useful. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.